corner of the internet. I have had a very slow morning. I basically spent a majority of the morning finishing my book. I've been reading The Silent Patient, and I really had such high hopes for it. I feel like I've been into the thriller books lately, and that one just seemed to have a really good plot, and I had seen so many people talk about it and read it, and I had heard kind of like mixed things. I feel like a lot of people said it was really good, and then others that do read a lot of thrillers had kind of said it was good, but it was expected to be a little bit better than it ended up to be, and that's kind of how I felt about it. I dragged on reading it because one, it felt like it was moving kind of slow, but then also like it literally did not pick up until the last like maybe 75 pages. Like that's where like the story really got rolling. However, like the twist that is kind of talked about, I wish I felt more of a shock, but I feel like if you can catch on, like I feel like after reading a few thrillers in a row, you kind of start to like link things. And at least with this one, at first I was like, how is this connected? And I was like, oh, I see. So yeah, I feel like it was like pretty predictable if you catch on, I guess. But if you didn't catch on, then of course it was like, whoa. Anyways, today is Friday. I'm getting ready very quickly. Doing some light makeup to go meet my mom. I think we're gonna go walk around the mall, and I think she's gonna get her nails in, but I had actually already gotten my nails in this week while she was out of town. I feel like I was so excited at the end of last week to really capture a lot of this week. However, this week has honestly been really hard mentally. Monday was a really hard day for me, and I think for a lot of us. Kind of took Monday to myself, and I feel like I had like a good little self-care day. TikTok ban was last weekend, and it was just such a joke. I have so many thoughts and feelings about it, and I honestly, since it's been back, I haven't really been using the app as much. I was definitely over consuming the content on there, and it just wasn't doing my mental health any good. So I have actually set timers on the app, so I only am allowed to use it for 30 minutes a day, and that has probably been the best thing. I don't want to be unaware or uneducated with like what's going on in the world, but I also know that overconsumption of anything isn't good for me, and especially over consuming news and media is not good for me at all, and it was honestly just making me spiral and putting me in a really bad place. So I set those limits for myself, and I've really just spent the week resting and taking care of myself. I went to yoga a couple times this week. Like I said, got my nails done. I had job interviews, which were all good and positive. So spent my time doing that. I, again, was reading. I started watching the show The Traitors, which I'm caught up on season 3. Actually, a new episode came out last night. Haven't watched that, so I need to watch that today. But I finished watched season 1, and now I'm starting season 2 while watching the current season. And it is just so good. I'm like, where have I been? Like, it's such a good show. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to. I almost felt like I wanted to do like a week of just like taking care of myself, but truly it was just me rotting in my bed and then only leaving the house to go to yoga and driving to job interviews. So that was kind of the week. I figured I would just like take you along again for the day and see how I don't know, what I get up to. I am feeling, I guess, a little bit better mentally today. Again, I feel like I've really tried to spend the week just taking care of this girl up here, because as much as I wish I could control all the external factors and external things happening in the world and how those obviously not only affect me but affect communities that I deeply care about, I'm just trying to find a balance between caring, educating myself, staying informed, doing what I can, but also taking care of myself because I don't know what else to do. I feel like this has been why I haven't been able to vlog. I had a couple of job interviews this week, which finally, it feels so good to be able to, I don't know, make steps. Oh my god, there's a van driving straight towards me at full speed. So I had one last week, 2 this week, and then I have 3 next week. One is like, 2 of them are second interviews, and then one of them is an over-the-phone interview. Since it's been a couple months now, I'm not entirely sure that Nashville's like the place that I want to be in. It's kind of where I've been before I moved here. When I was still working in San Diego, I actually was really thinking of moving to Portland, Oregon, because my sister lives there and I visited a bunch of times and I just like love the energy there. Yeah, so it's just, I just realized I really want to get over back to the West Coast. So I've been applying to jobs in Portland. I find out, I believe next week if I got the job that I interviewed for there. So that's really exciting. I'm doing one of these. And then I also have it in my interview, that one of my interviews that's next week is for a job in LA, which would just be a dream because I used to work in LA. I loved my time working there. I used to live outside of the city, so the commute was quite awful, and I've never lived like in it. So, but it's always something that I've seen for myself. So it's just a place I want to try to actually live in, not just work in. So I also have my fingers crossed for that. I'm just kind of exploring those 2 paths. Obviously, being in LA means I'd be so much closer to my friends and like a good part of my family that is still in San Diego, and my sister would only be a couple hours away in Portland. And again, like, yeah, my friends, my community, like, they're closer to me if I go to LA. But then again, I'm like, if I go to Portland, it'd be so nice because it's different. It's still experiencing seasons. I'm way closer to fly down to San Diego when I want to see my friends or family events. And I'd be obviously living in the same city as my sister, which is probably the biggest incentive out of everything. So yeah, kind of interested to see where life will take me. I am interviewing for jobs here, and so far it's going well. I have 2 second-round interviews next week. I'm just not super passionate about the idea of staying here. Like, I feel like I've tried it out. I could be trying so much harder to like actually get out and do different things. But I don't know, it's just like, sometimes, you know, when you're like touring houses and you see a house and you're just like, this is good, it's just like, doesn't feel like it's my house. That's kind of how this feels. Like, this is good, I just don't think it's like my house. Like, I don't know if that this is the one I want to rent, you know? So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts and my feelings about that. But fingers crossed that those interviews go well, or that I hear back, because I'm kind of ready to make some moves and get back to working. Like, I hate that feeling when your brain is just like silent. I feel like a lot of people, when they get anxiety, they talk about all the voices that are in their head. And sometimes I actually think I have the opposite. Like, when my anxiety, sometimes Sometimes when it's like I'm overtaken by the anxiety, or by, maybe it's not even anxiety, when I'm just feeling like meh, it's like so silent up here that it's numbing. Is that dark? Like, there's no thoughts and there's no vibes. It's like, you know, people are like, no thoughts, just vibes. It's like, no thoughts, just like weird vibes. That's how my brain's feeling. Like I'm on autopilot. People were really staring. Kept noticing that today. Everyone was just like staring at everybody. I'm like, are you okay? What are we all looking at? Just finished up at the mall. Didn't buy anything, so that's good. I'm gonna have a Chomps jalapeno. I have a thing. I was watching people talk about these. My whole life I've said jalapeno because in Spanish it's jalapeno. Why do people, I'm like, this girl was like, I just got these jalapeno. Jalapeno. Really bugged me. It's jalapeno. Jalapeno. Girl, that ain't right. Anyways, I'm having a little snack. I don't know why. Mentally, I'm like, not there. Having a little snack will cheer me up. At least I did my outing for the day, so I can go back home and be like, no, I left the house. Sometimes that's all you need, is to feel like you left the house. Or rather, sometimes you just need to leave the house. And then go back home. Probably watch the episode of Traders from last night. And / or start my new book. I'm going to start reading The Wedding People. That'll be good. What I should really do is start crocheting my second mitten, because I finished my first one. It's like mostly done. The only thing that needs to be done is the cuff. But I need to start the second one. I'll probably go into that later, but it's been a whole journey. As the pattern I was following, I got like halfway through and I realized the mitten was just like so huge, and I have little baby hands, so I had to readjust the pattern as I'm learning how to crochet / learning how to read patterns.